Chapter 6, President for a Square Deal. Newspaper writers had always liked Teddy. He did so many unusual things that he often made news. The Spanish American War added to Teddy's fame. He was a great hero. By the end of 1898, he had been elected governor of New York. Voters loved Teddy. Reporters loved to write about him, but Republican leaders weren't so sure they trusted him as governor. Teddy was too popular and hard to control. He did what he thought was right, not what the party leaders wanted him to do. The leaders had an idea. In the next election, Teddy should be President McKinley's running mate for vice president. They thought he might listen more to Republican Party leaders as a vice president than he did as the governor of New York. The McKinley-Roosevelt team won the election. They took office on March 4, 1901. But the team didn't last too long. On September 6, President McKinley was shot. He died 8 days later. Theodore Roosevelt became the President of the United States. This caption down here points to this picture. William McKinley is left, meets with his Vice President Theodore Roosevelt. A few months after this photo was taken, McKinley was assassinated. In this picture, the caption reads, Teddy was photographed everywhere he went. He is shown here at a football game.
Teddy was photographed
Right here is a picture of the White House, and the caption reads, The White House became Roosevelt's home in September of 1901. Teddy was 42 when he became the youngest United States president. As president, he surprised everyone. He tried to make the country do what he thought it should. He used power in a new way. First, he went after the railroads. He wanted to make sure that they didn't join together to set high prices. When companies compete for customers, prices go down. If companies agree not to compete, prices go up. That's a monopoly and it's against the law. For years, many businesses had ignored the law, and Teddy changed that. He told business owners that they must not join together to keep prices high. They would have to compete against one another for customers, or he would make sure they were brought to trial. He began with the railroads, but he didn't stop there. As president, he used the law 45 times. Teddy used his power again to end a strike in the coal mines of Pennsylvania. Miners had stopped working because they wanted to be paid more. And right here is a picture, and the caption says, Teddy gives a speech. The men in hats are newspaper reporters. Remember, this was before radio and television. It was also before there were many female reporters. And up here is a sidebar, and it's a quote by Theodore Roosevelt. Far and away, the best prize that life offers is the chance to work hard at work worth doing. They wanted to work only 8 hours a day. The owners wanted them to work more hours. The mine owners said that they would not talk to the miners. They would just wait until the strikers gave up. But winter was coming, and Teddy knew that people needed coal to make heat. He said the owners had to talk to the miners. If they didn't, Teddy would bring in U.S. soldiers to work in the mines. The mines would run, but the owners wouldn't get paid. So the owners gave in, and the workers got better pay and an 8-hour day. Teddy wasn't trying to favor the workers over the owners. He did what he thought was fair. He said all people should have a square deal, a fair one. Teddy's great plans. It's no surprise that Teddy also used his power to protect nature. As president, he set aside about 230 million acres of land. From Puerto Rico to Alaska, there are wild areas you can visit today because Teddy made them into parks a century ago. Teddy had another great plan. He wanted to build a canal in Central America. In 1900, sailing from Florida to California took a long time. Ships had to travel all the way around Central and South America. The trip was about 15,000 miles. Up here, this picture, the caption reads, Teddy was always interested in helping to better the lives of children as well as adults. Down here, the sidebar says, America the Beautiful. If you should ever visit North Dakota, perhaps you will be able to get to see Theodore Roosevelt's National Park. The park was named in honor of the president because of his love for the outdoors and of nature. The park covers 70,447 acres in the wilderness of North Dakota. Today, the park is part of the National Park System, a U.S. government agency that is part of the Department of the Interior. Over here, it says Yellowstone, which was opened in 1872, was the first national park in the world. The National Park System includes natural and historic sites spread across the U.S. Today, there is a national park in every state but Delaware. For a listing of national parks, visit the website at www.nps.gov. This little caption says, visiting California, Teddy Roosevelt is dwarfed by the giant sequoia tree. Right here's the giant tree. This is a picture of the men, so you can see the size difference. Teddy wanted to build a shortcut. Panama was the best place for it. In Panama, a very narrow strip of land separates the Atlantic and the Pacific Oceans. But there was a problem. Panama was part of another country, Colombia. Colombia didn't want the U.S. to build a canal, so the people of Panama decided to break away from Colombia. Teddy sent U.S. soldiers to help Panama fight. When Panama became a separate country, the U.S. could build the canal. Work on the canal began in 1904. Teddy was re-elected as president the same year. In 1914, the first ship sailed through the canal. Now ships could move more quickly around the world. The canal helped the U.S. become a world power. During his second term, Teddy kept up his conservation work. He helped make it illegal to sell food and drugs that were not pure. Here is the caption. It says, A man, a plan, a canal, Panama. The canal took 10 years to build. In 1906, Teddy told canal workers, This is one of the great works of the world. It is greater than yourselves at the moment realize. So he helped make it illegal to sell foods and drugs that were not pure and clean. And in 1906, he won the Nobel Peace Prize, a very important award for helping to end a war between Russia and Japan. Teddy used the power of his office in a new way. He helped make laws that were fair for everyone. He pushed the country to act like a world power. The sidebar says, Teddy and the Big Stick. Teddy had a favorite saying based on an African proverb. Speak softly and carry a big stick, you will go far. If you were strong and willing to use your strength, people would listen to you. You didn't have to make threats. A strong country was one that could use force if it had to. The big stick policy meant that Teddy could tell others what to do. This worked on U.S. business leaders and on leaders of other countries.